All right, on this one, we got notes, guys. It's so good. I had a big breakthrough the other night that I want to share with you because this was super activating. I want to talk about stepping into your creative genius reality. This is not a word that has resonated with me before until this month. Creative genius. What is that? What is that? Today, I'm going to teach you this process that I recently went through and how I feel like I was able to, and this, I've been kind of playing with this over the last few weeks, and I'm just so excited to share this with you because I have felt within myself this incredible momentum of really up-leveling in my embodiment of the creative genius. It feels like a total archetype to me now, like a full-blown outfit that I can put on at will. And it's just really exciting to share this with you. So let's talk about this. So I was testing out this new modality. We'll talk more about the modality in future videos. I'm still kind of working with it, but I'll be sharing it with you. And but within this modality, part of it is uncovering those subconscious kind of limiting things, the things that are keeping you in a loop, right? And so for me, what I dove into and found, and I know a lot of you are going to be able to relate to this, was a fear of my piercing clarity. I was afraid of it. I was afraid of being clear, which is so interesting because we talk all the time about wanting to be so clear. We want to be clear. We want to have clarity. We just want it to be clear, right? We just want that. That's just all that we want if it was just clear. Like, it's because clarity, when you've got your clarity, you know what action to take. You're in your power. You're moving things around. You're moving forward. And, things are shifting around you. Reality is shifting around you in a big way. Have you ever felt that? Tell me in the comments if you've had those moments of clarity and it's like one of those months or one of those weeks where you're just like, it's happening. I'm clear on this and it's happening. And then it does. And it happens, right? It's that power of command. And we'll talk more about the power of command, but we're going to stay really focused on creative genius as much as we can today. So what I realized is that there was that moment in my body where it felt unsafe to be in the fullness of my clarity. I'm talking about that sort of piercing, there's not a doubt to be seen. There is no doubt. There's no doubt about it. It's just what it is. And it's so clear. It's so clear, it's relaxed. That's how clear it is. It's just clear. It's just what it is, right? It's like that kind of clarity. So in my body, that didn't feel safe. And this is the affirmation that I want to break down for you. And if you start to realize like, oh, maybe I do not feel safe to be like totally clear on what's mine to do, because that's going to introduce me to my power. And my power is going to introduce me on what I need to do to being seen. And being seen, and it goes on and it goes on, right? It's layers deep. But it starts with getting really clear. So this is the affirmation I want you to play with, to step into that creative genius archetype, where you are able to make very clear decisions and then step forward into them. It is safe to be a respected, creative genius. It is safe to be a respected, creative genius. How does that feel for you? Do you want to say it with me? It's safe to be a respected, creative genius. Do you believe that about yourself? I did not believe that about myself a few weeks ago. And that really surprised me. Let's break this down. I want to break these words down because when you are writing affirmations or when you're working with mantras, it's really important to understand your relationship to each word that you are saying. Okay? That is, that's not talked about enough. your relationship to each of those words. That is where affirmations can either be really effective and really helpful, or they can kind of like, if you have a really warped sense of the word beauty, right? That's a really good example, because some people, that word beauty, no, that is a trigger word. That does not feel, it doesn't, that, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about being beautiful, right? And then there's some people who are like, more all the beauty. Like, give me the beauty. Like, I want everything. I'll Venusian everything all the time. Beauty. Yes. Everywhere. So that can be an example of like really needing to understand the power of the words that you're using in your affirmations and in your mantras. So I want to break this one down for those of you, if you want to start stepping into that creative genius feeling. Okay, let's talk about what that means. Creative genius. I'm going to read from my notes because this was really good. Okay, so creative genius, meaning you allow both the art and the science of your gifts to come through you without apology. The art and the science of your gifts. That's a really powerful combination when it's coming through you, right? Don't you recognize that when you see something that feels really genius? There was an art and a science to it. It was really well presented. It was really beautiful. It was just so elegant, right? It was like so easy to understand. And there was a lot of really good knowingness behind it, right? There was a lot of good, there was like, I know this to be true. I know that this works. You trust yourself in your gifts because they have helped you first. Okay. Creative geniuses, the medicine that comes through, they're not birthing their creative genius for the sake of someone else. Ever. Creative genius is a very natural state in our elevated consciousness. So when we're in a really elevated state of consciousness, creative genius, it just happens. Again, it's very calm. It's very relaxed. It's very clear. It's just, you just allowed it to come through. Why did we need to say respected creative genius? Respected, meaning that you really believe in what you're doing. You really, with all of it, you believe in what it is that you are doing. That is something that is becoming, unfortunately, it's like a lost, we got that, like we need a revival, right, of the respected creative genius. And that revival starts with you starting to really feel like, how can I respect myself and my gifts? How can I be proud of myself? How can I respect myself for what it is that I know how to do? And I'm really good at it. You know, I was with my mentor and she said something that just like, it was like, oh my God, me too. That's exactly how I've always felt. And I want to share that with you, which was, she said, for her whole life, I'm paraphrasing, but it was like, for my whole life, I felt like people were making me feel bad because like everything I touched would just it was beautiful. Like I just made it more beautiful. Beauty just poured out of me, no matter what it was that I did, no matter what I said, no matter what I wore, it became very beautiful. And that's how it's been for me my whole life. And I've felt really bad about it. And now I don't, you know? And it was like, and that's over now. And that was so powerful for me because I could just so relate to that, right? So whatever it is that you do, it just naturally comes through you, right? And it comes through you so naturally that maybe it's the thing that makes other people jealous. Maybe it's the thing that other people like to, talk crap about you behind your back when they're hating themselves. Respected creative genius. Respected meaning that this isn't a joke to you. It's not a hobby. It's not just this thing that's on the side. And maybe, I get it. I get having things on the side. This YouTube channel, this is a thing that happens like after 6 p.m. at night. There's not time in my day before that, right? But it doesn't mean that I take it as like, oh, it's just like, it's whatever. It's like, no, I really, like, this is so, I'm here, I'm engaged, right? So I respect you. I respect what you need. I respect what's going to be helpful for you. I respect myself and like staying on a consistent schedule because that's like what I'm going to need for myself, right? And then take that and apply it to every other thing that, for me, it's like homeschooling, partnership, career, creating money for my family, like all of these things. It's just like, if I am going to allow my creative genius to lead, then I need to respect my creative genius. Like, there needs to be some respect, because nobody wants to work with like someone who's not respectful, right? So if you're going to be engaging with your creative genius, have some respect. Be respectful. Show up when you tell yourself you're going to show up. When you write something down in your planner, okay, it is done. It's a promise. It's a promise. The last thing I want to talk about with the creative genius that you are, my love, that you are, okay? If you're still with me and you're thinking like, I don't know, I don't have that. I don't have that creative genius. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. 100% no. Will not entertain it. So if it's not for you, it is safe to be a respected creative genius, then I am worthy to be a respected creative genius, right? Work with it. Really feel into it of like, is it safety? Is it worthiness? What is the relationship that you're having with respected creative genius? Creative genius comes through in so many different ways. And what's unfortunate, as I was working through these words with genius, there's this, I think there's a collective belief, or at least this was my sort of programming around this word, is like Einstein at a chalkboard, right? And it's like, it's this guy and he's got all this scientific knowledge, right? Now we need scientific knowledge, like that's not what I'm saying, but what I'm here to represent and what I'm here to be an advocate for is really, really high emotional intelligence, really, psychic level sort of empathic gifts that we all have, but maybe yours are turned on and turned up a little bit more. Do you respect that about yourself? Because I'm telling you, it's still taken me some time to get fully on board with just how emotionally intelligent, with just how psychic I am, with just how much I'm getting guidance all the time, right? To build the level of like fully respecting that. Okay, so that's why I'm presenting this mantra to all of us right now. It's safe for me to be a creative genius. It is safe for me to be a respected creative genius, right? It's a really key word. The respect and seeing genius maybe in a new light, maybe just in the way I was saying in the beginning of the video, to really like, what do you allow to come through you, and it's really well done. It's really well done and it's easy for you, right? And we're always developing more of those creative genius skills all the time. There will be, ways that I show up as a creative genius in much fuller, more expanded ways in the future. And same for you.